Hello, my name is Gabriel and I have what they call schizophrenia. Today's video is about my tactile hallucinations. So lately, well, for the past over a year, I've been getting tactile hallucinations, and it started in my previous psychosis. My previous psychosis was really messed up. It started off with what appeared to be an awakening, then turned into this delusional nightmare, and I was lucky I escaped it. But this is one of the main reasons why I make YouTube videos as well, not only help myself vent, but to help other people out there realize that they may be experiencing schizophrenia, because that's what saved me and pulled me out of psychosis, was admitting that I had schizophrenia. And I started off getting tactile hallucinations, like it felt like gravity around me, and then I felt things touching my back like this, and that started in my last psychosis, which started in July of 2020, and the psychosis part ended by the end of August, but I was still actively hallucinating, which really sucked. But I got back on clozapine, and it got rid of most of pretty much everything, except I still get the odd hallucination. I hallucinate maybe once, twice, 3 times a day, depending on the day. Like if I'm stressed out, it'll start with the tactile hallucinations, then I'll hear the hallucination. So it's almost, for me, it's like I hear a female whisper, and then I feel something touch my back. And it's really annoying. It's the most, like, honestly, I just don't like this kind of hallucination, because you can literally feel it, and it's really uncomfortable. But that's, when I go to look up tactile hallucinations, there's people that have them, but I haven't seen or heard of anyone on the internet saying that they have, like, active tactile hallucinations, or, like, they say they may, like, every now and then they'll experience, like, a bug crawling hallucination. And to be honest, a bug crawling hallucination, if I didn't have the voice with my tactile hallucination, I would probably think that the tactile hallucination was bugs crawling on me, because it feels the same, it's just you give it a different meaning. But yeah, I go through a lot of tactile hallucinations, and it's pretty uncomfortable. But we all got our hallucinations, at least us people with schizophrenia, and we'll all get through it at the end of the day. So what I'm also going to talk about is basically last year, 2020. So we'll start off with 2019. So in 2019, I was on 250 milligrams of clozapine, and I dropped right down to 200 milligrams. And this was around February or March of 2019. And then I stayed at about 200 milligrams, and then I started lowering it more and more and more. And then 2020 came, and I was lowering it more, and it got to the point where in June I was on 50 milligrams. June of 2020, 50 milligrams of clozapine. And the pharmacy called and said, your blood work came back. You have to stop taking clozapine for 2 days and then get your blood work done again. And since I was already planning on coming off the clozapine, I just didn't take the 50 milligrams anymore. And a couple weeks passed. I was having nightmares. I was sleeping with my eyes open. And I know this because I would wake up and realize that I remembered dreaming about staring off the direction of my bed, but also seeing things. So I was like seeing my room in my sleep, but also dreaming. So it's kind of like I was hallucinating these blobs floating around my room or whatever, but that's because I was asleep. But I'd wake up, I had horrible nightmares. I actually didn't know it was real anymore. And I went on to olanzapine, but olanzapine wasn't enough because my psychosis kept progressing and kept progressing. In August, I realized, okay, this is schizophrenia, because I was watching a YouTube video on someone else with schizophrenia, and when I realized or admitted that it was schizophrenia, the symptoms kind of went away. So I think it was August 7th when I started realizing it was schizophrenia, and that's where a lot of the work began. But I think late September, mid-September of 2020, I got back on the clozapine, and here I am in October of 2021 on the clozapine, but I'm also on Seroquel too. So I'm doing a lot better. Everything takes time, and you just gotta learn to be comfortable. Never listen to a voice. That's a message I want to really get out there to people. It doesn't matter if you believe that it's God. It doesn't matter if you believe it's an alien. It doesn't matter if you believe it's your best friend or a past relative. Do not listen to the voice. Even if it sounds nice, the voice is sounding nice so it can gain your trust and then lead you off a cliff, metaphorically speaking. The voice wants to gain your trust so it can mislead you. And that's why I never trust a single voice, and I don't feel bad about saying, F off, I'm not listening. Because I just don't trust voices, and you shouldn't trust a voice. I mean, it's up to you, but in my experience, I know now to never trust a voice. It's either, I can't do that. So, basically, the way I snapped back into reality was by realizing I did have schizophrenia. And the reason why I was coming off the clozapine in 2019 and 2020 was because I thought I was misdiagnosed, and I felt super healthy because I was medicated for 4 or 5 years, and I felt super healthy, and I didn't think it was the medication making me healthy. I thought if I came off the medication I'd be even more healthy because I thought I was misdiagnosed, and it only took weeks of coming off of it. I was sleeping with my eyes open, like I said, had horrible nightmares. I would, partway through the summer, I was having voices saying that they were going to give me a heart attack, and then I would dissociate, and then I would start panicking, and my heart rate would go up, and I thought that the panic was actually the voice giving me a heart attack, but in reality, when the voice said that it was going to give me a heart attack, I believed it so much that it scared me and I started to panic. But because I was unwell, I thought the panic was actually the heart attack. So it was a big clusterfuck. But that's basically what happened. A voice told me it was going to give me a heart attack, which was obviously a lie. But since I believed it, it freaked me out and I panicked. And then it mimicked that sort of thing. So my heart rate would go like this, and I could literally hear it in my head. I could hear my heartbeat going like this. And my whole body went numb. I couldn't really walk. And, I realize now that it was severe panic. Very, very... It was a really, really deep panic attack. That's, like, the only words I can use to describe it. So, if there's anyone out there who is hearing voices and their heart's racing, they can hear their heart, their legs are going numb when their heart's racing, and they think that they're having a heart attack or a stroke, I just want to let you know, you're most likely you're not having a heart attack or a stroke. I'm saying most because I don't want to stop somebody from going to the hospital if they actually are from a different reason, but basically, voices lie, and schizophrenia has a way of tricking us and giving us evidence to kind of make us feel like our symptoms are real. And for me, when my heart raced, my whole body went numb. I'd get this strange smell in my nose, but at the end of the day, it was just a panic attack. I dissociated, and it was a panic attack. And when the panic attack was happening, I dissociated. Now dissociation is kind of, here's an example for you. You start talking, but it sounds like you're listening to someone else talk. You can't feel your body really, and you feel like you're staring at a TV screen and something else is controlling you. That's dissociation. So when you dissociate and panic together, you literally think you're dying, but you're not. But you mimic symptoms of something severe, but in reality it's a panic attack. So just because your heart raced and you could hear your heart racing and you got that weird smell in your nose and you were dizzy when you got up and you could barely walk, you felt like you had to crawl, just because you went through that, it doesn't mean you're dying. Panic attacks can be a very stressful and sketchy thing, and they do mimic symptoms of heart attack. So I just wanted to say that if there's any of you out there who feel like you're going through this sort of thing, just remember, schizophrenia, panic attack, dissociation, research all those things and just try to keep calm and you'll be okay. You might need meds. Not everybody agrees with meds, but in this world it seems like that's our only option at the moment. But yeah, so I've talked about my tactile hallucinations, led into the conversation of panic attacks and my last psychosis. Yeah. So I'm gonna do a video on Sid Barrett. He was a member of the band Pink Floyd, and he supposedly has schizophrenia, or had schizophrenia. And yeah, I find that interesting because it seems like there's a lot of musicians out there that make really good music, and they have this sort of diagnosis. So I'm going to do a video on that pretty soon. I'm sorry for the less amount of videos I've been putting out, but I'm trying to make the videos longer. So instead of like 5-minute videos, I could have one 25-minute video or 3 10-minute videos, and that way you can listen longer. And yeah, so I'm still trying to learn how to use my music studio, my portable studio. It's not really confusing, but it's hard to work with, because when you're using like a computer program, you can copy and paste the track and loop it a lot easier, but with this thing it's really physical. Yeah, you have to go into like the menu and do all this stuff to cut it, but like with a computer beat maker or whatever, like Ableton Live or FL Studio, you can just use your mouse and cut it right away and then copy and paste the track. So still trying to get used to that, but I might end up buying Ableton Live, which is pretty much better than FL Studio, and you can put a beat into there, you can make the beat, and then you can get a drum thing to like synchronize with the beat. So a drum loop will line up with your beat at the right amount of beats per minute, or whatever it's called, so nothing's off tune or off beat. So I'm pretty excited about that. And yeah, right now I'm saving for a car. I get my G2 in December if I pass the test. If I fail it, I'm just going to keep taking the test over and over again, but for the most part, that's what I'm excited about at the moment. Making music and doing my G2 test and being able to travel and have freedom. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know. Hit that subscribe button for more videos. And if you have any questions, also let me know. My name is Gabriel, and I have what they call schizophrenia. And I will see you in another video. Thank you. Have a good night.